Closing schools in Grand Rapids, it is a story that we first broke last week. West Michigan's largest school district will close up to a dozen buildings over the next 7 months. This because of declining enrollment. The district has had to close about 25 schools over the past decade, and a few of those are now sitting empty. Tonight, we wanted to know what's going to happen to the buildings that will close this year. 24-hour News 8's Danny Carlson spoke with the superintendent tonight, and she's live at the Kent ISD, where school officials met this evening. Danny?
Yeah, Brian. Well, first they discussed about, how they're going to decide which buildings will close. A big part of tonight's meeting focused on that, talking about criteria that they want to have in place, things like community support, parent involvement, academic achievement. All of those things will go into deciding which schools stay open and which schools close. Talking to the GRPS superintendent tonight, she tells us that they need to do something to reinvent the district, pointing out that 40,000 kids live within GRPS district boundaries but go someplace else.
At the end of the day, you cannot have a building that is at 1/4 capacity and expect taxpayers to support that.
We're told it's inevitable. Some schools just need to go.
I think that in the past we've closed because of declining enrollment. Where we are trying to look at it now, we are closing or reinventing because of the need. So not just letting the enrollment drive it.
Over the past 10 years, GRPS enrollment has dropped by about 8,000 students, and the district has had to close about 25 schools or programs. But many of those buildings have been repurposed, so only about 7 were actually sold or stand empty. But this new district reinvention does have the potential to leave more buildings empty in Grand Rapids communities.
I'm sure that there are community members that are going to be very nervous with an empty building in their neighborhood. But I say for those, come out, have a voice, and enroll your children in GRPS.
The board plans to decide next spring and announce next spring what schools that they will close. As you heard Superintendent say, she does want community input from people about which schools should stay open and which schools should close. Now, Superintendent Neal tells us also that she will encourage the board not to sell the property of those closed schools right away, hoping that the reinvention works and that more people enroll again in GRPS. Live in Grand Rapids tonight, Danny Carlson, 24-hour News 8.